Now I can be heard. And then you will, in 1 second, you should now be able to be heard.
Can you hear me? Hi, Carl. Hi,
Yes. And
Yasta.
now I have to make sure that
I am
you
not
can
looking
be... Oh, I
beautiful
have to do this
today.
crap.
I look beautiful in a different light.
See, Gemma can talk.
I mostly complain about my lack of beauty. And also I'm very echoey. Hi, comb inflated. Comb
No, I can't
inflated?
hear you.
They can't hear me. I'm going to talk about my room. So I know this room has been under renovation for like months now. Months and months and months. Finally, the wall is dry. I can paint it. And I pull up the carpet because I'm going to change the carpet as well. And what do I find? But woodworm. I am echoey, and this is why, because I've got no carpet. And I haven't been able to replace the carpet because of this woodworm situation. So now I have to find someone to come in and replace. Like, I don't think it's a live woodworm infestation. It's a long gone woodworm infestation, but there's no point putting the fresh carpet on a couple of floorboards that are shot. This is why I hate any kind of building project or anything like that.
Oh, I did
every
it.
time you open something, every time you start something, then you find some other disaster. Like, just don't pull up your carpet. You don't want to see what's under it. That's my recommendation, and that's why I'm really echoey.
I see. Let me do our publishing. I'm sorry, I had to futz with the sound settings forever.
But yeah,
so many things.
Just, I don't know. Maybe you guys want to see. Maybe you don't. But I'm going to show you anyway. So.
Ooh.
I don't want to move it too much because I've got the microphone, but like here, you can see all the old wood ones. But the wall's painted. The wall is now the color I wanted it to be, which is white. Obviously, it's not white because I'm not. What is it? It's white clay.
White clay.
Yeah, like so. For people who didn't know, like next door's chimney had a leak, and so this whole entire wall was just soaking wet, and the plaster was like being pushed off the wall by all the water coming through. So next door, I felt really bad for them because they bought the house, and I knocked on their door like 3 weeks later, and I'm like, I think your chimney is destroying my room. Anyway, they were really good about it. I was, they paid to get my walls replastered and everything. They offered to help me paint, but I said no, don't worry, because I had to redo this room anyway. It was something I had on my list. I wasn't gonna charge them for it. I think they'd already kind of, done a really good neighbor thing by getting all the replastering done.
So you're lucky to have a house.
Yeah, I'm fucking lucky to have a house in this situation now. But anyway, but then of course it took months and months, right? Because the walls are like really thick, like a meter thick, some of the walls in these places. So I was just like, it just took months and months and months for it to finally dry through to a point where I'm like, right, we can paint it. But so I really kind of wish I'd pulled up the carpet whilst I was waiting for it to dry. That would have been the smart thing to do. But problem is, right, you get through it, but then you have to start back at the beginning again, because as soon as you finally finish the last bit, the bit you started in your house just collapses. It's just, I don't know. But yes, I am very lucky to have a house. I'm touching wood, like, I don't know, like, I mean, I know that it's different in America, but like if you're in the UK and stuff with the mortgage crunch and all of that, it is terrifying.
There's a mortgage. Tell me about this mortgage crunch. I want to know. Should I be buying up UK real estate right now? Is that
it's going to get real cheap. I mean, you remember Liz Truss, right? And she came out with that insane economic plan. So that
which one was she? Was she the one who was like, wait?
She was at like 35 days or something, 45 days. So she came out with the budget.
Wait. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just need to remember. There was David Cameron, who was
David Cameron is the Brexit.
Yeah, he was the one who was like, surely Brexit will never happen, but let's vote on it anyway. Right. And then he exploded. Yeah. And then the lady came, right, after David Cameron.
That's May, yeah.
Theresa May. There we go. So Theresa May showed up. But Theresa May was a robot, and she was unable to function properly. Yeah. But then she left, and then Boris Johnson was after Theresa May?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
and he
that's
just
right.
like
Yeah,
partied hard through COVID, and then he left, and now he's gone forever because he partied too hard. And a report
yeah.
finally came out saying he partied too hard, and
Well, no,
then
I mean, no. So he was actually ousted by his own MPs for a multitude of other reasons.
okay, no
Most
one
of
liked
them
him.
being, well, most of the problem was that he misled the House, which is a serious problem in our
Mm,
politics.
he lied.
Also,
You
it did
punish
get
people for lying? How quaint.
it did get a bit ridiculous though, because when the Partygate stuff was coming out, like the Saturday night television, even like the variety like presenters were just they were gunning for Boris Johnson. I've never seen it before. I've never seen entertainers making jokes about how Boris Johnson had to go. I mean, they lost control of the situation, right?
Oh
This is
wow.
not,
He he just
where
he just spoiled. He became so obviously bad that everyone's like, "Ugh, forget this guy. We don't want to
I
deal with him."
wouldn't go that far. I really don't. He's just such a strange concept in politics. He's a bit like Trump, like I wouldn't
Mm.
underestimate that man's ability to bring it back. Anyway,
People are crazy. Okay, anyway,
and
yeah.
then we had Truss, right? And
Okay,
she
and
came out with this.
Trust showed up, and if I remember, and this is my outsider opinion,
Yeah.
Trust was like, "I am firmly convinced we need to drive the country's economy into a wall," and then everyone was
Well,
like, "You sure about that?" And she was like, "I
her
am so
her and
sure."
her ex-boyfriend Kwasi Kwarteng decided together that they would drive it. Yes, destroying the bond market and in so doing making retail loans ridiculously expensive within hours, basically, right?
Okay.
And they did come down again after we ousted May, and then no May, sorry, Truss,
Yeah, after
and
she
now we've got
left, everyone's like, "Oh,
Sunak.
maybe it's sane."
We've got Sunak and Hunt, and Jeremy Hunt is just generally considered a safe pair of hands. Like he won't do anything crazy, but he probably won't improve anything.
I get
Anyway,
that vibe about Sunak overall that people are just like, "This guy seems like he's probably just not gonna shit the bed." That seems to be what people. And again, very
I don't
outside
know.
opinion. Very outside opinion.
Yeah, I think he's just making uncosted promises. I mean, the problem is here, and probably I don't know. This is. I've been very balanced now, but my feeling now is that this party know they can't win the next election. There's no way they can win the next election.
Mm.
So they are going to say things, and they are going to steal as much money as they can from this country. And they've already stolen so much. They're such a corrupt bunch
How
of
can I get
wankers.
some money out of the British Empire?
What you have to do is you just have to pretend you've got a company that sells PPE and offer it to the British government, and they'll just give you millions even if you haven't got it.
For the record, this is really good. If you ever see any of this, actually, I prefer the sour blueberry flavor, but this pear elderflower soda is really, really good.
That does look good. Anyway, so there's this mortgage crunch.
I'm gonna look for Mahjong games.
So just what should you do? So people who locked in their mortgages at one, because people tend to lock in their rates for 2 to 5 years, right? So people who locked in their rates at
You
maybe
told
something
me
like
this, and this is baffling to me because here in America,
you have teaser rates, right?
well, no. Here in America, you can do kind of one of two things. If you get what I'll call like a normal mortgage, it is just done. My mortgage is at X% for Y years. Now, I do have the option later on to refinance. Okay, I want to change it. I want to get a new, like basically, it's almost a new mortgage. But if I don't do anything, I have just a fixed rate mortgage. It is X% Y years done. You can also get things that are an adjustable rate mortgage, and those can be dangerous. You're kind of betting on what you think the interest rate is going to be, and yeah, you have like a fixed rate for some amount of time, and then you jump to the prevailing rate. And a lot of times, you can get a larger adjustable rate mortgage because the bank feels more confident that if the financial situation changes a few years down the line, your rate's going to jump to whatever that is, so they're safer.
Yeah.
So they're willing to extend you a little more, and 2008 was full of people getting insane ones, and that's a totally separate problem. But like in my mind, at least, maybe I'm wrong, the way you buy a house in America is you get a fixed rate mortgage, and that's your rate, and that's it. And you hope you got lucky.
So we don't tend to do that. Like I have heard 10-year fixed rates, but we tend to fix 2 to 5 years into the future. And then you go to a variable rate, which is always base rate plus whatever, right? Anyway, so most people lock in for 2, 3, or 5 years, right? Maybe 4. But anyway, the problem is that lots of people who locked in 2021 when the rates were historic low, in next year that is going to expire and they're going to move to the variable rate. So what they were looking at was locking in at 1.1, 1.2. Now, if the direction of travel continues and the Bank of England increases the base rate to 6.5, people are going to be looking at mortgage rates of 7%. People aren't going to be able to get mortgages, and people aren't going to be able to pay their mortgages. And there's lots of people going, oh well, the government should step in. I don't know if that's a good idea either. Like should the situation be that non-homeowners have to pay like homeowners? Don't like that either.
Well, it just
Really,
seems a little crazy that you
really,
can buy
we
your
just
home
need
and
to
have
go.
this adjustable rent, basically.
I don't know. I mean, it works. It's always worked here, but I think what we need to do is go back in time and fix the timelines so we never vote Conservative.
I don't know how well that's gonna go. I'm gonna pull up.
But yeah, bring
some
up some
Mahjong. There's
Mahjong.
some
Anyway,
Mahjong up.
so I got some Mahjong updates before we continue with more Mahjong.
Mm-hmm.
Sugawara, who came to Paris for the WRC qualifiers, got into the new M League team. Sugawara is lovely, and she's just a wonderful human. I can't think of any, to be honest, most of them are very, very deserving. But I know Sugawara, so I'm a little bit biased. I did want Yamai to get through, but he didn't. He would have been super
I would have loved for
deserving.
Yamai to get through, but
yeah. But anyway, Sugawara got through. So she's a big like WRC supporter. So I'm really glad to see more of the believers in the right place. What else is going on? Should we update through it, or should we I don't want to talk about this Dora. Let's look at this Dora then.
Yeah, I want to talk about everything. A lot of stuff happened. We went to Japan. A whole bunch of stuff happened. We can talk about that a little later. Although I do have a pretty hard stop at 2 because I got to get over to. Actually, let me quickly message. But I got to get over to our meetup at 3. So I want to make sure.
Okay, whilst they're doing that, I want to know: do people like this starting hand?
I like the Dora, and I like that the Dora are in the middle, so I could just go push for Tanya, but the rest of the hand...
I was about to say, I hate it. Like, I know everyone's like, wow, Dora, but I feel like
258. I really don't like 258.
No,
I hate that.
But do you not feel like those Dora, though, are like these sirens on the rock that are going to be like, they're going to make you do something stupid because you think two Dora.
No, I don't. Now, just for background, this is an ARML game. This is an A-League ARML game, so these are going to be some good folks playing, and that gives you the rule sets. There are no reds.
There are no reds. Okay, that's important.
So I know I like knowing where these guys are, especially because it's a 5-man. Especially it's an easy to use Dora. I like knowing that I know where half of them are already. I know where the value is on the table. Maybe that also comes from my A-League, my A-Rule adventures, I should say. But like I know where a good chunk of the value on the table is right now, and that makes me a little happy. It's East 1. It's a first hand. I don't have to worry.
Yeah.
I would probably be much more nervous with this hand if this was a make or break hand in South 3. And I'm sitting there being like, I gotta land this, otherwise I'm in big trouble. But as a starting hand in East 1, I can just go nuts and see what happens, right? I can set the tone of the game with a big win here, or if I lose, like, all right, I'm probably not going to deal into a giant Dora bomb, so meh.
I like her saying this hand is a driverless car. I think it's right. Yeah, yeah. You think it's a good idea, and then it runs over some kids. You got a good 4 draws. Okay, okay.
We got some time to see where this goes.
But then, okay. This is where I think people kind of misjudge. You've got 4 draws to see what the hand actually is, and that's true. But when your hand is this junky, basically any draw is going to improve the situation. And then you think, oh, things are improving. But that's because the further you are away from your goal, the faster you are, right? And as you approach the goal, you slow down.
Can I talk to my agent? I did not agree to be cast as the optimist on this show. I'm usually the pessimist. I'm usually the one who's like, this is bad and you should be worried and it's bad, but you're just like, it's all trash. No, and the big deceiving point is that it's so shitty that you might perceive the inevitable improvements because it's the bottom of the barrel as actual good things.
Oh, come on. That is so true, though. Like, if someone, it's like life, right? When you're at the lowest in the point and then, like, maybe, like, someone just gives you a chocolate bar, you're like, oh, my God, life's so much better. It's not. It's the same shit with a chocolate bar. That's what I'm saying.
No. It can't be that bad. It cannot be that bad.
That's all I'm saying. I think people misjudge sometimes when they draw like 3 or 4, but you're gonna draw usable tires in here because it's just scattered.
At bare minimum, I'm gonna say the thing you should take away from this is that you know where a lot of the value is. Whether you think this hand is good or bad, the fact that those 2 Dora are in it, you now have some control over this table because you know where they are. And I think that's an important thing to immediately recognize with this hand is the level of insight it gives you into what's going on.
Okay, I'll accept that.
You can still try. Yeah, you should try and make the thing happen. There's a fold path here, I guess, but it does depend on what you draw. But I'd probably be chucking out probably this north. Anyway,
You
let's
can fold
see.
anything.
See, there's your optimism. No matter what tiles you get, you can always fold. I wouldn't say that quite, Carol. I would not say you're obligated. Never feel that way. Never feel. If the situation is right, you should fold this hand. I don't think the situation's
I
right
think.
yet.
Do you know what? I think. Do you know what, Kira? What you just said. I think most professionals will tell you the same thing.
Whether you're obligated because there's 2 door in it.
You're almost obligated. Yeah, like you can't fold from now. You have to try and make something happen. And I think most of the professional trainers would tell you that.
All right. Yeah.
But I think you're right, Dave. I think at this point, yes, you're obligated to see what happens. I just want everyone to have an awareness of how fast it will feel at the beginning and not overestimate how fast they're going. But I don't think you're obligated, as we always discuss, six draws and discards in to continue going. If it's not looking like it's going anywhere, then you can fold it.
Let's do our first 6. Let's see what.
But you want to keep your exit route here. That's what you still want to keep an exit route.
Well, it's true. You can fold later, but if you're gonna be thinking of folding later, you're gonna play this hand a little differently because you're probably gonna want to hold on to at least one good safe hold. In other words, if I'm thinking all gas no brakes with this hand, I'm gonna like go ape shit and throw out all these edge tiles and not even care. But otherwise, let's see what our first 6 get us here. Does anything extreme happen in the first 6 draws? All right, so this is our 6th draw. What do we think of where this hand is going?
Right. First of all,
pained.
I do not like the white and red throws. Flat out hate them.
Wow.
Because why keep the 2-pin over those? The 2-pin doesn't really broaden your hand too much. And if you get another white dragon or red dragon, you might get yourself a Yaku. And you do draw the red dragon on the 6th draw, right?
Yeah, here with the 4-5, this is where I probably would have cut the 2, because now you know for sure you're never going to need it.
I mean, let's not say you know, but the loss is minimal, right? The loss is you can't use the 1-pin or the 2-pin. Whereas, and I know that when you throw the white dragon, you're only using the white dragon, but the white dragon is a Yaku. The 1-pin and the 2-pin are not
I'd probably
Yaku.
be trimming the 2 and the 8 here instead of the white and the red, just because I hate this structure. It's like I have the 4-5, I'm using it, I'm done. I don't care about the 2, I don't care about the 8, I don't want so stupid edge weights. If I'm winning this hand, I'm definitely going to be Tenhou, so I'm not going to be caring about the 1-pin or the 9-pin. Like, I should have trimmed the 2 and the 8, in my opinion.
So I wouldn't necessarily say, I wouldn't say the 8-pin is just as good to get rid of as the 2-pin. If you've got to choose between the 2-pin or the 8-pin, get rid of the 2-pin.
Yeah, the 2 first.
Because you've got to think of the loss, right? And the loss, if you throw away the 8-pin, is you won't be able to use, you could still technically use the 7-pin to show the 5-pin, but you've already got that kind of grouped over there with the 4, right? So you're going to lose the 7, the 8, and the 9. Whereas the 2, you only lose the 1 and the 2, because the 3 is going to hang out with the 4 and the 5. Yeah. Whether you should keep a dragon tile over the 8-pin, I think that's a discussion, right? And I think that partly depends on what happened on the board. So if the the player on the left had thrown the Haku, the white dragon, then I would throw the white dragon instead of the 8-pin and hold the 8-pin.
Yeah, once it's
thinking
out. Thinking
about Tenhou. However, we don't know whether that person would have thrown the Haku because they threw the Haku in response to your Haku throw.
See, holding these wests.
But that's your win, that's great.
No, it's not, that's dead. So holding the wests is weird because if I was planning on folding, I'd be psyched, right? If I was planning on folding, I'd be very excited to have these 2 tiles in my hand. But now I'm in this weird spot where I know I'm never going to get the 3rd West. I have these 2 Dora. Probably no one's going to throw a Dora for me to pung it. Like, what am I going to do? Am I going to cut a Dora to make not Pinfu? Because it's my win? Like, this puts you in an ugly position if you're looking to win. But a decent position. Cheeto is a good option here if you wanna try. But if I was doing Cheeto, I probably would have held the white and the red.
I think the 2-pin should have gone, and you should have held the white or the red. Like, I would have been okay if you chose later to throw one.
If at this point the 2-pin went,
yes,
then we don't know if they threw the white because you threw the white, so you can't tell. You can't tell whether it would have been more obvious. Yeah, there's no
There's no, you know. But I think then you could have just, you know, you could have made a decision about whether you wanted to throw the 8-pin or whether you wanted to throw the white or the red. I'd be tempted at that point to throw one of those dragons that wasn't paired up.
Yeah, this is weird, and holding the West is just weird in my opinion, because that says to me this player's strongly considering folding the hand, which I'm not going to say that's a bad play. Cheatoy, maybe, but they held the West before the. Oh, they got the second 3. They held the second one. Like, they held even the first West. Well, with the first West, there was still at least one out. And now there's 2. Yeah, I don't know. It says to me that Cheatoy is an option, but folding is also an option. Let's see where we go. Well, now it's Cheatoy. Now we get this 4-pin, and it's Cheatoy time, which is fine. And then what do we do? So,
I think this player plays a lot of red 5 mahjong. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, because I've held every 5.
They're holding the 5s. Yeah, they're pulling into the center as a habit, and that's a habit you need to break out of if you're playing red 5s.
Yeah.
But they draw.
So now we get to say we got our stuff. We got our Cheatoy, but this is a rough Cheatoy. Like I'd probably Dama this. And
but wait, there's no red 5s pairs. There's no red 5s.
Yeah, we don't have no red 5s. I'd probably Dama this and try to find a better weight.
The problem is though, if you reach it, you're at Mangan.
Yeah, but if I get a better weight, I can reach and then also win. I don't know. They just hard reach it on the 5. No one's gonna throw. Maybe they think they're doing the old double shoulder Suji trap. They got the 2 and the 8 out here, so maybe someone will give them the 5.
Maybe. I mean, it's not terrible. The problem is someone might actually want to use that 5.
Yeah. The problem is that the 5's probably gonna stay. These discards don't look particularly crazy, so I wouldn't be immediately imagining this is a weird hand.
No.
So I'd say they could maybe get away with this. I could see them getting away with it.
I probably would have preferred to throw the 5-pin and wait on the 8.
They should have just sumoed on the south because they kept the chuns.
Yeah, well,
that's what they should have done.
I mean, I think the problem is the 5-pin's so useful, people are more likely to hold it. And there you go, there's the 8-pin comes out, right? Again, we're not sure if that's because it's responding to the reach and the 8-pin is safe. However, I'm pretty sure if you'd have thrown the 5-pin where the 8-pin was, they'd have thrown the 8-pin as well, because they'd have read the Suji. So, I don't know. And it's all very well good, but there's the 2 and the 8. But the central tiles are so useful, people may have already built their hand around those central tiles.
Yeah, your risk is not that someone's going to think the 5 is super dangerous against this. Your risk is that they'll just use it because tiles.
Yeah, and we can't see. I mean, again, it would change if I could see a lot of 6-pins, or 3s or 7s. All of those that would have made the 5, but I can't. So there's no 3s, there's no 4s, there's no 6s, there's no 7s on the table, which suggests people have got them in their hands and they're using them. And I think this is one of the things with Cheatoy. It kind of pays sometimes to have a real strong vision that this is going to be Cheatoy, and therefore I'm going to make sure that I have the right end weight for it. And I think it becomes more difficult in a red 5 game because you have to pull in the red 5s if you can, right? But we're not playing red 5s, and so that means you can sort of play on the outsides of the suits. I mean, I think you could say we should have seen it on the south. I think that's cake cut on. That's cake cut on. You can't decide. You can't. We don't know if that would have happened.
Oh man, here's our sick Ipe code that we don't get now. And so the game continues on. It looks like our player to right looks like they're bailing. They look like they're just playing hard safe. Across has played hard safe. Left plays south. Cross plays hard safe. It looks like everyone's kind of pushed off at this point.
Oh, that's interesting.
East comes out, but there's 2 east out already, so that's pretty safe. North is
I don't know if this 7 down here is frightening people, maybe.
1 pin, but we can see 3 2-pins already.
Yes.
3 pin, 1 pin, no, 2. This looks like it might be a little pushy.
It is. It's a Suji on the door.
Suji on the door. That's a little pushy.
Unless they can see that because they've got like a triple of 3s in their hand.
Yeah. 6 comes out.
Can we see the hand quickly?
Sure.
Is that all right? Can we just open it up?
No, they're just pushing. It looks like they're just straight pushing.
Oh wow, that's straight pushing.
But they
Okay.
have like a 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku option here. So like I see Pinfu, Tanya, Sanshoku, like, and maybe even Dora if they get the right side of this. Although then it's not Sanshoku, but like I see why they're pushing. They have some.
But
value.
they could have thrown the 5 bamboo though.
Yeah, but they want to keep their Tenpai options as wide as possible.
Well, I know, but the 5 bamboo doesn't close it down that much. I'd have thought the 5 bamboo would have been the right move here.
I'll call them and tell them they were wrong.
All right, yeah, give me the number. They're not wrong. I just think that would have been, you know, you don't need to push into it here. It's not a huge hand value there.
I mean, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's Pinfu, Tanya, maybe Dora.
Sanshoku.
Sanshoku, yeah, maybe, but you've not locked it in.
Yeah, it's not locked in. So it's either Sanshoku or Dora.
So I
that
think
means
you know
it's manga. Well, reach.
I would have thrown the 5 bamboo. That's what I'm saying. Especially if you want to lock in the 6, 7, 8, then you throw the 5 bamboo.
Well, they're pushing. They push with the 3, although the 6 came out, which makes it not completely irrational. Safe. Another just straight up push. I mean, Suji again. You got some Suji stuff, but like, why are they pushing? I want to watch why they're pushing. Oh, they push with what they drew. 2 pin. 1 man. Everyone's just going. And here it comes. Player right runs out of hard safes and throws a 5 pin to keep.
No. The 2 and the 3.
Oh wait, the 2 and the 3.
Safe.
Yeah, wait, no, they still have the 2s and the 3s, but they throw the 5 pin. What a strange option.
I think that they thought that they were going to get big value, or maybe they just misclicked.
Yeah, like I'm not sure why. I see why they thought the 9 so was dangerous. I see why they thought the 9 pin was dangerous. But I don't see why they would throw a 5 pin unless they really.
It might be a brain fart, yeah. Like, and I don't think sometimes we give enough credit for the fact that, you know, there is a timer, and you know, sometimes even though we know what we should do, for some reason our hand takes over and gives us the wrong thing. Right.
Yeah. It's a rough deal. And we get our Mangan Chitoi out of this. So hey. Good first hand. 8,000 over. And now we go here, and this is pretty good.
Just to review why I said at the beginning, like, you know, it'll go fast and then it will go slow. I think that was proven there, right? It went fast and then it went slow. So just remember, as you get towards Tenpai, the speed really reduces. The further you are away from Tenpai, it'll go really, really fast, and that might give you, you know, the wrong impression of the speed of your hand with your draws. But as you approach Tenpai, it will always get slower to get to Tenpai, and then finally to get that winning hand.
Gemma's hard saves reach and left and open. This hand looks a little nicer to start. Yeah, for level 99 is level 92. That's kind of true. I see where that's going. I kind of like this, but I kind of don't. I like the 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku opportunity that's very visibly in front of me. I like that the door is the 8 pin because it says to me Jun-chan is a thing that could happen here, but it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Jun-chan's not going to happen.
I mean, it's nice that you've got 1 complete set, 1, 2, 3. You've got 2 proto sets, proto runs, which apparently I've heard people don't like that terminology, but I think it's good. Anyway, you've got the 2, 3, and the 6, 7. But you've got no value.
No.
So,
you've got like a. You've got like a fairly fast little Pinfu hand, but there's no hard hittingness to it.
There's no Dora. There's certainly no Dora here. So I definitely would be like, okay, well, I'll see how it goes. If it goes fast, then okay. But I won't be putting my neck out for it. Yeah. But, I think the 3 pin is the obvious first discard, personally.
Oh, not 9 man?
The 3 pin isn't really helping that much, no?
Now it's not. Now I'd get rid of it.
I don't. Yeah, I know. Like, I do have a tendency that I do like to remove those kind of extraneous things on my runs. You know, certainly if they're, you know, the ones in the middle, I hate those. I just want to cut it out. You know, slim them down.
Oh, 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku shaping up. Now we
Again, you know, like I would really want to keep those honors just a little bit longer.
9 man. They're keeping the Haku as safe.
Yeah, so.
But now they throw it, which is a little. Well, I guess they now have another way to 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku.
Yeah, and they've got. I mean, they're worried about their pair situation, right? So they.
Oof. This is the worst. What do we do?
I mean, I personally would stay strong and throw the one bamboo out, and I wouldn't look backwards.
Throw the 1 bamboo out. Just say we're doing 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku. That's it.
Yeah, or you could throw the 6 bamboo, and then hopefully you can have a 1-2 with the 3 waiting, and that'd be your Suji trap.
I agree, Pez, by the way. Holding honors longer does really change the feel of your hand. When you just, like, ditch them all at the beginning and you cast yourself to the winds, you're really, at least for me, I feel really unsafe now. When I have nothing left in my hand to, like, catch me honors-wise. It's weird. If you need S7S isn't the worst round, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's that progression between, and obviously this is not a beginner player. Seven Dan knows what he's doing. And obviously he's making his choices for smart moves. But, you know, I definitely think as you start moving towards intermediate, you start being able to hold the honors. And this is one thing that if you are interested in playing other rule sets, I would recommend it because it does teach you to look at honors in a different way. Especially if you play one of the weird-ass European rule sets like Dutch Royal or British Mahjong. Like, it just gives you a whole different kind of perspective on the honors. And you can take that into your Ichi Mahjong game, and I think it will improve it. You know, if you're having a bad time at Ichi Mahjong, just try another rule set and see how it affects your game and if it improves it, because I think generally it will. If you tend to get into a rut, right, you tend to get into a habit, and you're just doing the same thing in Ichi. And so to play another rule set, or maybe if pairs would like to go play some poker, it can kind of change your perspective on how the meta of the game is.
Yeah, there's a lot you can learn from switching it up. I could see that. I always get psyched by these weird like Ipeco opportunities, and that's probably not worth it.
Never. I know. Just no. Ipeco. Just no.
Okay.
I don't know. I think people really like it, but I don't think. I think there's an over reliance on it, but it really doesn't come through as often as you'd like. Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay.
They did it though. They decided to hold on to the Ipeco option and cut the ones down to the pair and ditch Sanchoku, which.
Right, but Sanchoku is two hand. It's two hand, and it's an openable hand. Ipeco is a pile of shit. That's it. That's my platform. I'm sticking to it.
Oh no! Well, it's a terrible decision because they end up dealing into Tenhou by our player across, who's looking to scrabble some momentum back after losing their deal. I don't know if this was this a good idea. I guess if their hand was here, they maybe should have just done it.
So Pez has got an interesting. Wouldn't 5-6 pin be option? Yes, it would. I think apart from the fact that the 8 pin was the door, I wouldn't want to, because if you've got the 5-6 and you get the 8 pin, you can just throw the 5 and absorb the door. But yeah, generally, if you are, what I want to pick up on what you said, if you are going to drop something and you can drop a central set and leave your proto set on the edge, like there's 2-3, so you're waiting on a 1. That would tend to be the better thing to do.
Yeah.
Or like to drop the 1.
The interesting thing here,
especially if they're not going to drop the 7 pin with an 8 pin door.
The interesting thing here is if you drop the 5-6, you also do retain the ability to get that Sanchoku. Like if it really does happen, like if you just you're forgoing making that decision to cut it off hard. I just
don't. Ipeco is a bonus, right? It's the bonus. It's not the thing you aim for.
So hateful of.
Because everyone's like Ipeco and it looks nice and it's good, it feels good, but it's not all that great.
Well, here's a very Ipeco-y hand. This actually is a really great. I like this. Do
you know, I think Rampeco should be Yakuman.
Just be done with it. I really like this hand because I want 2 Dora right now. I want 2 Dora in this hand. I got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I got 6, 7, 8, which would easily become 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could really hard Junchan this if we wanted to. It could happen.
Hard Junchan.
I don't
know if quite hard Jin Chan, but
whether or not that happens, we still have a hand with a lot of constructed material here already.
I'd be throwing the 8-pin. I wouldn't want to throw my honors.
I might throw the 3-so, actually. I might flatten that immediately.
I don't know.
Well, you loved it in last hand. It's the exact same construct.
It is, but you know what? My little heart also doesn't want to cut off the idea of a flush entirely.
Oh my god! All right. Okay, well they throw.
Yeah, thank you. Plymouth play is gonna have it. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't. Obviously, it's like
what a crap draw. That sucks. That makes me sad. But now they're Ishan 10, so like I feel like they've chosen a very aggressive path and they've gotten right to Ishan 10, but getting that 4-man is just the worst.
Yeah, 3, 6, 7, 8 has no overlap, right?
See, this 1-pin is good because this gives you more Junchan chance.
That's the problem. Yeah, you can't call for your Junchan now with that 4-man. That 4-man cock blocks you.
Yeah, it really screws you over.
Oh, aren't you glad you kept the 8-pin now? Gemma was wrong. It's just now. Where's your pair?
There's too much happening. Now, this is an interesting one. Yeah, now we drop the 8. Now we look at Itsu. I think Itsu is like an option. There's a lot of options dancing by in this hand.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the problem is you are going to regret that 3 bamboo, I think, because you can easily get into a situation where you wait on 3-6-9.
This is scary and sad at the same time. The Dorapong by the player to your left is very nerve-wracking because now what do they got? What are they doing? Oh, here we go. Now you got your Tenpai. And this ends up being what? This ends up being Ipeiko.
This is where you Dama.
So do we Dama on the 5-8 or do we Dama on the 9?
The 9 just came out. It's safe. You throw the 9. And if you need to dance around and avoid whatever's going on to the left, you dance. No?
Oh, they hard reach it. They hard reach it on the 5-8. Two-sided weight. I'm not going to call that a bad move, but I feel like the Dama is probably the better choice here, but I can see the idea of wanting to use their dealer seat and get a little oomphy with it and say I'm the dealer and I'm going to push everyone else off. Given that everyone else got pushed off on their last reach.
Right, but what? Okay, but let's put here. What if you draw the 4 bamboo? Don't you want to upgrade your weight?
How does it upgrade?
Because then it'll be a 147 weight.
Yeah.
And our friend on the left here has dropped a 1 and a 7. I don't know, like I just don't think that reaching takes you from 1 hand to 2 hand.
It doubles your score, and it gets you Ura. It gets
in the
you
face,
extra
in the face of but and I've forgotten this. This player is dealer.
Yeah, they're dealer, and they get flip. I think there's merit behind the decision to reach. I don't think it's.
Okay, Karate disagrees with me. Karate says the weight upgrade is chasing ghosts. The reason you damn it is because you don't want to deal in. Yeah, I guess. But then also,
no!
I've been talked around because it's the dealer.
Oh, the Itsu opportunity comes and goes.
It's not Itsu now. You've got to Ipeiko, man. I don't know. The other thing is, well, you could get the 7, and it could be an Ipeiko and a reach and a pinfu and then a reachy. Like this is just.
No one's respecting player, right? Pong's a 7-pin. So clearly there's other push going on here. But it looks like nothing too awesome is happening right now. There's the 1. Oh man. Player to the right sneaks it out. Where was everyone here at this point? Just straight up Tenhou. They just wanted to get ready on Tenhou and be done.
Well, our player here on the left though had a Sanchoku.
Sanchoku, raw Sanchoku Dora 3, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, I mean it's a shame they didn't get the Chanta in.
Yeah.
Oh no, it'd be a Jun-chan. It'd have been a Jun-chan.
Could they have gotten a Jun-chan out of this?
If they'd have.
No. They never saw this. They could have gotten a Chanta out of it, I believe, but they couldn't have gotten a Jun-chan out of it.
I don't know. I would have wanted to aim for that though. And maybe I'm too greedy there. No, because it doesn't add anything, does it? Chanta wouldn't have had anything. No, okay, I don't want it.
5s and 8s were dead. Or at least were being held. They were all held. So now we got a 1,000 point toss off to the player in last who needed to make something happen.
Can't say toss off.
Sorry, British people. Your weird euphemisms and your BS vocabulary. 1,000 point simple hand.
Store 3 not good enough? You know, you're right, Trout. You're right. I back off. You're right. You're very right.
And there goes our deal. Now we are dealt garbage. This is not exciting at all.
I mean, again, just be quiet, man. Fold it.
Yeah, this can be folded. There's really nothing to do here. This is not exciting. Not at all exciting. Okay,
it's a fold or a damo if you're really good with the draws.
Yeah. Ooh, that's kind of cute. We got a pair.
I don't like this. Yeah, okay.
We got 3 of a kind. All right.
She Sanchoku. Yeah, it's coming at you.
We're now in the grossest situation where we're technically Tenpai. There is a 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku opportunity here, kind of wiggling around.
I like this Dama. I like this Dama.
I hate this Dama.
Why? Like,
because
there's no reason to reach this.
Oh, no. Okay, I agree. I agree with the idea. Do not reach this. I just hate this Dama because if this Dama works out, you just go like, sumo. And that's it. You get Jack. It's a 300, 500 pile of garbage, and you're just embarrassed to even show it to anyone.
No, okay. I'm going to defend that sad sumo because it shouldn't be that sad because you just shut. We always think like, oh, you know, if I just sumo only, like that's sad. But what you've done is you've shut the game down. He's the chip lead at the moment.
If I wanted to shut the game down, I'd get up and walk away.
Okay. If it was the other players, then I'd be like, come on, you can find value.
Oh, when it happens.
I'm chip lead. Good.
The sad sumo of 1 in 40, 400, 700. What a sad time for everyone. It's not
that sad because you've moved it around. You've just cock-blocked D-San. You didn't need to put your neck out for this one.
This player was Tenpai. South was Tenpai on the door even. 79. Yeah, we were getting places. Now you just sumo.
Exactly, Chuck. First place does not need the high variance. You chip lead. If this had been the dealer who had this, I'd have been like, well, you're gonna have to reach. It sucks, but you're gonna have to reach. But you're not the dealer, and you're chip lead, so you don't need to reach. And it can be a sad sumo, and you can be like, yes, sad sumo.
It's sad. It happened.
It's sad.
It's sad. And what do we get as reward for our sadness? We get actually a pretty good hand here.
Go. The gods of March are rewarding.
Too many edge weights, really, but it could for sure be a Junchan. This is a very Junchan-y hand with a 7, 8, 9 Sanshoku.
Yeah. Sure, but if you went first, then reaching is different calculation, right? Because then if you get
then
the
you need the value.
There's you're only 6,000 away from chip lead, so then it's a different calculation, right? But you're chip lead, and you're not the dealer. So
North immediately punks North. Oh my God, North goes on a rampage before we even get to draw our first tile. Oh my God, look at all this Junchan potential. Oh God, look at this.
You're right, Dave. This is okay. This is triggering for you.
No, break the 6, 7. It's happening, you fool.
They've
seen it. They've seen it for sure. And now they're looking for the Sanshoku if possible. Oh my God. Now, which way do we break this? I feel like we break the 7, 9 and hold out for the Pinfu if we can. Because it's
the Pinfu's nice because it gives you the gives you the 6 as well for the Dora. So even if you don't get through to the Junchan. What? Oh, no.
No, okay. Why would you do that to us? This was so good. Everything about this was good. We were not going to draw anything we cared about, though, forever. We would have drawn that 6 and then been a little
I haven't seen what this sumo hand is. Show me the sumo hand.
I want to show you the sumo hand. Oh, it's sumo on the Dora. It's North and Haku and Dora. I mean, last place needs the points. Can't
Yeah.
blame them for winning that.
No.
It does not quite get them out of last place, but it pulls everyone else down a lot. Let me get rid of this wall in the hands. All right.
So I've memorized all of the tiles immediately.
Ah, crap. So now what do we got? This is... I don't like this very much.
I don't like this at all.
I don't like this very much. There's no good way to get traction with this hand. The Wests are nice. They're a hand component and safety, so I like that. Yeah, like this is the saddest pin food.
See, I'd say flush.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe. Maybe.
No.
No, you really shouldn't. North comes out. East comes out. 7's a good pick at least. All right, 3, 4, 4, 5. Chin. All right, 3, 4. We got that epic.
Hi, Recky. Hi.
Hey, Recky. How's it going?
Me and Dave are in Tokyo enjoying everything that Tokyo has to
offer. All right,
offer.
now we're Ishan 10 on at least a Pinfu with a potential Dora. It's not bad. Oh, man, a Dora comes out from player to our right. We should watch out. Reach from across. Now we have to worry about our life. Probably I'd throw the 6-man here.
Yeah, why
that's
not?
hard safe, but it lets me keep my... Yeah, exactly. Lets me keep my hand alive in case I decide I still really want to fight it. Another reach. Now there's 2 reaches, and this might lead me to say, well, I can probably get away with this south. Yeah.
Or the west, right?
Well, so
okay.
if I cut the south, I'm still able to be alive if I want to, so I probably want to do that. 2-pin Haku. A 3rd reach. Okay, that's it.
Don't
With the 3rd reach, I would
for
sure have been bailing. Yeah, no, you want to spread them out usually.
They're heavy.
Oh, the 3 on the 6th. What happened here? Closed weight, 2, 3, 4. And this is just reach. This is another really knifey hand trying to scoot into 2nd place.
This is quite apart from C's opener, there's not been a big, and maybe go back to what Trial said, that you're obligated with the 2 Dora to kind of go for it. That's why you're obligated, because it might be your only chance in the game.
Yeah. We're still riding kind of high here at this point, which is very interesting.
What, Recky, I just want to ask, are you going to do another Final Fantasy 14 Mahjong tournament?
Oh, yeah.
I love those. I know they're a ton of work, but I really, really love them.
It's super fun.
Yeah. It's my favorite event. I don't know. I think like the Mahjong community on Final Fantasy 14, as is most of Final Fantasy 14, to be honest, is super wholesome.
It is really wholesome.
Yeah, it's just, nothing bad is going to happen. Everyone's going to have a nice time. I don't know how Square have done that. Yeah, I know, Ricky. You've got like real life things. You don't have to, but just let you know that when you're ready, I am so ready for it. Right, this is garbage draw.
It's garbage draw. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like it. We're dealer though, so we can maybe grab a pin for out of this. I don't like it.
But I want to be keeping those on a tiles. Not the north. The north is not a value on a tile.
Popping them in and out.
But then this is the thing. I feel like the value on the tiles here are better than you think.
Yeah, because you want to keep that option. And you also, well, maybe though they're playing like I sometimes play, where I want to throw them in front of these players who are willing to grab a 1,000 point hand. Because if fourth wants to snag a 1,000 point hand here to get into third, that's great for me.
So what league level is this out of interest for the armor?
Oh, what? I'm sorry.
What level is this? Is this A1?
This is A. These players.
This is A. Okay. So these people know each other then.
Yeah, they know each other and they play well. And sometimes I'll do that. I'll say, everyone's so close, right? Maybe I'll throw some of these dragons out so someone who needs to make 1,000 points can go to make their 1,000 points because it won't hurt me. I'm so high up.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, that's the problem, right? Like I'm looking at this with no context, and you don't get 7 down without knowing how to play.
Yeah, well, of course.
And that's always the problem.
Everyone else
and also, we can always go, oh, you should play like this, you should play with this, but there's always a big benefit in like changing up, switching gears, doing something that okay, well, actually, I'm not supposed to throw the value order straight away.
This is a rough a rough hand right here. What do we want
The
to
more-
do with this?
I don't want to play it, I've got to be honest. I think I throw the one bamboos, even though that's not the thing you're supposed to do.
I'm thinking of cutting the 8-9, so.
Yeah, I'm only thinking of playing the one bamboos because then I would start calling through probably for the Tenhou.
Yeah, that's also why I'm looking at the 8-9, where it's like, this is an extra proto set I don't need.
Yeah.
If I get the 7, I'm happy enough with 5, 6, 7.
I mean, do we really need the 8-pin then? Do we really need the 8-pin then to...
Yeah, I could throw the 8-pin. I could see throwing the 8-pin as drawn.
Because remember, if we're A league level, right? So we've got to presume that these people are looking about at whether the tiles are coming out of my hand or coming straight from the discard.
Yeah.
So why give them extra information? Why not just throw the 8-pin straight?
So what they did. They threw the 8-pin straight. Reasonable approach. Get a west we don't care about.
Tile gets vaporized by lightning.
From the
You've been playing
six,
too much
we're
Mahjong Soul. That's all Konami Fight Club. They seem to like vaporizing tiles with lightning too.
One. So now we're Ishan 10 in a lot of different ways, which is kind of interesting.
So Ishan 10, if you're new, means one away.
One away, yeah.
One away from being ready.
Four goes. We probably didn't need it. Now they've called this. They might be doing some kind of. This doesn't strike me as a pin flush, because they've thrown the 3 and the 5. But I'm happy I drew this 2, so I can just throw this 2 and not be worried about them. Because I'd be a little worried. I don't want to hand my points away, especially when I only see one Dora, and I don't know where they all are. Now all the other players are getting antsy. Well, I'm Tempai.
Well, I'm Tempai.
What do we want to do with that?
I'm the dealer. I'm gonna reach.
You just push. You just reach. On what?
Yeah. Well, obviously I'm waiting on the Dora because pros never wait on the Dora.
You just two pin reach.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty safe as well, I think. Left, I'm a little bit worried about with the pin suit, but
the 2-pin itself, I don't feel bad about.
No.
The reach, I feel a little bit rough about.
You should feel a little bit worried about the 2-pin because it is only 2 tiles removed from the Dora.
Yeah. Reaching is what worries me, is being trapped. And these 1-so are so very safe.
I know, but you can't win otherwise. I guess you could throw the 1. Okay, I don't know, like... Okay, so you're thinking you throw the 1, you dammer, and hope for an upgrade with the 5-pin.
The 5-pin upgrade would be amazing, but there's already 2 5-pins out on the table, and it's right next to the Dora. I'm not getting a 5-pin. Like, I have to be real.
I don't know.
I
think I've had. I like to ask questions, right? It's the last draws and discard, last line of draws and discards. I want people to tell me if they're gonna push or not against me. And if they're gonna start throwing 5-pins out, then the 4-pin somewhere. I want to know.
There's merit to this. I think there's different thoughts. Let's see what they do. They reach on the 1, and they hold out for the 3. Okay. There's only 2 3s left in the world though, so like this is another rough one because there's one showing as the indicator. There's one that's been discarded.
Yes, you're right, quite right.
7. That's if I could have been a Sanshoku upgrade. 9 is not worth it.
See, I think people are folding, and that's a result. I think folding here's a result for you. As the dealer.
No one wants to get dunked.
Yeah.
So everyone folds. Player to our right's ready on the Dora for Tenhou Dora 3, which would have been great for them, but they still get 1,500 points, which is also great for them. So we get to hold the deal. Get a little bit of distance from people, and then we get this, which is a really interesting hand. This could be a really fast hand if it goes right. So I probably just throw the 1-so and see if we can get something here.
Yeah.
See if we can make something happen. East looks like it's... Oh, no! Butts. That would have been cool. But whatever.
Right, the Mahjong gods hate you now. You are hated. Everyone hates you. Hi, Mahjong Backer.
Oh, welcome, Mahjong Baka. How is it possible that this has happened to us? How could this have happened to us? Why? Why? I'm gonna look back. What should we have done? I can't see a better answer from this position.
No,
Well,
there
no, I
isn't.
can.
What?
Only. So, the
You're not
only
going to throw
thing I
the
could have.
east. You're not going to throw the east. You're not going to throw the 5. You're not going to throw the 4. You're going to throw the 1.
The
You're going to throw
only
the 1.
reason, the only reason I could come up with a torturous and contrived path to not throw the 1, I'll be fair, is that with the 3 as Dora, both the 1 and the 5 help you accept it. I could have said throw the 4-man to give me the best path to keeping Dora, because I'm not throwing the east. But that's really contrived. To be fair, that's really contrived.
So what you're saying is contrived. I'm going to tell you. We like to call in Japanese keikaron, because you've seen the outcome and then
Aaron, I get it.
And you've then decided what you should have done because you've seen the outcome, right? Now, Mahjong players do this a lot, right?
Yeah.
Especially to other people, because it makes them feel good. It makes them feel smart, right? They're like,
it's easy to do once you saw how it's going to happen.
You should have thrown that one because, of course, this was going to happen because the nugget or some such nonsense, right? So for the weebs around you, there's your word, keikaron. Like it's. Ugh.
No, it's true. That's why I said it. That's why I said myself. It's very contrived. I'm trying to justify something that there's really no way to know.
Karen.
Karen. There's no way to have known at the time. Oh my God, why? Why? All right, so we get rid of our easts, and now we're gonna immediately draw 2 more easts. Okay, no, we didn't do that. We're now east on 10. 7.
Oh, you just know.
But another hot. Oh no, we do the same thing with hots now.
The problem with keikaron as well is the problem is you do something shitty, and then for some reason, because the gods of Mahjong smile on you that day, it'll come through for you.
Work. Yeah.
And that's part of the keikaron, right? Because you'd be like, oh yeah, well it came through for me, so obviously.
Yeah, the other day I did it, and it was fine.
But then you get a bad habit, right? Because you're like you have you overestimate how good your luck is.
Yeah, you bent your own estimation, and now you're
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
I feel like keikaron can be used to abuse the other players and also to put you into a false sense of security in your own skills.
So what do we do here?
Fold the wests.
That's probably the right answer, but we might be so frustrated at this point.
It's true.
That we're just like, no, this is stupid, and I'm not going to let this fail. No, this player is smart and cool. For the record,
and that's why they're 7 down.
This player is smart and cool. If you're watching, I am complimenting you on your composure of not letting yourself get mad at how dumb life can be and making what I'm thinking is the very right call of getting the heck out of there. Fold with West. Let's be done with it.
Then you're still 1 away. You are still 1 shanta.
Yeah, you're still 1 away from ready. You have these ridiculous discards, which is going to make everyone laugh. And this player sumos a Mangan hand because they have 3 Uradora.
No.
They sumo Reach Sumo Ura 3.
Oh no.
For Mangan during your deal.
Oh no. Wow, this is
brutal.
This is how to make Auras exciting.
This is brutal. Oh.
No more Ura-san. Yes.
Oh no.
No more Ura-san.
Brutal. God. Wow. Okay. Well, now you are in second place by 5,000 points. And you're dealt this. What do you need to do? What do we got to calculate right now? What do we need to do? 5,000. We need. Well, we actually only need what? 4,200 points technically. But there's nothing on the table, so we really need 3 and 40. 3 and 40. Sorry, a 3 and 30 sumo should do it.
Mm.
And a 3 and 40 roan off anyone will do it.
Yeah.
And a 2 and 40 roan off the dealer will do it. Because 2 and 40 is 2,600.
Yeah.
And that should do it.
Yeah. That was good.
So we really want to hit 3 and 40 if we can to lock in definitely winning. But
Mhm.
3 and 30 sumo's okay, and 2 and 40 rolling off the dealer's okay. So how are we doing that with these tiles? We want a con for food. I mean, if you want to twist my arm, conning for foo is one of the okay ways. If you have to do it, I could see if you can justify it. You can say, I needed to con to get the foo to hit my target for this hand, and you're right. I would accept the con.
No, only if it was already all locked in. Like, don't start canning now.
Yeah. No. You don't con now with the hope that foo will help. But I could see someone say, I was sitting here with this hand. I knew it was 2 and 30. I knew if it was 2 and 50, I'd win. So I conned. Like that is a justification for a con that is valid.
You might even get condor.
You might even get condor. Yeah, you might even get condor.
Okay, what I don't want to see is an open can. What I don't want to see
diamond
is no, I don't want to see that. I just hate it. I the amount of times now I've seen people do it because mahjong souls there pretty light.
Con for foo is a better saying than con for flow because con for foo is at least like factual.
I know.
Like,
I
at
disagree.
least you definitely get foo out of
science. Flow is science. You just don't understand it.
I apparently don't. Maybe it's because I'm just.
But can actually makes the flow like vibrate like this, and it's not good. Don't do that.
Is this super string theory? What are we doing?
Yeah, basically, what you've done is you've actually moved your game into another potential timeline. So don't do that.
I had to sit in the dojo and play against Moriyama repeatedly. All right, don't talk about that to me. Jesus, God, Jesus, I can't believe I'm such an idiot. Anyway.
Do you know what? That man makes me feel like an idiot when I'm sat there. He was the reason I didn't make the cut in 2017 because that man was laughing at me.
He didn't make me feel dumb. He made me feel like I don't know what to. All right, I'll talk about this later.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Dave's Japan story. We'll talk about Japan stories after this game. After this very tense orders, okay? Very tense orders.
And I don't know what I'm gonna do with these tiles, to be honest. Like, I can maybe get Pin Fudora 1 here if I'm lucky. I don't really see anything amazing jumping out at me. I don't see Tenhou as a very obvious answer here, so this is rough.
Do you know, the one bamboo is the first discard, and you have to just sort of, you have to go with the flow that you don't believe exists because you're wrong.
Good. So West starts by calling West, which also makes me nervous. Because now I know West has the desire to just end this game ASAP. They're in last place, but if they're calling West, that means they probably have something else in their hand because they're 3,000 points out of, that have at least a Dora.
Right. But they could just be getting themselves into third place, right, because of the league structure.
Well, yeah, but to get themselves into third place, they need 3,000 points.
No.
All right, well, they need 2,600. Mm-hmm. So they've got to have something else in their hand. Maybe not a giant bomb, but they've got to have something else more than just West. Otherwise, because again, these players aren't dumb. They know what they need to do. So they've got to have something. Now, South calls North. Everyone's going apeshit at the time that I least want anyone to be going apeshit with this hand.
Well, I mean, these two players have to go apeshit. So,
as I said, I'm not saying they're making bad decisions, but it's not what I want to be happening. What I want to be happening at the table is everyone giving me a little bit of time to make this happen. And instead, these players are pushing pretty aggressively, and that's not so good.
I mean, I definitely be half thinking here Chitoy as well, because as you said, like it's a bit different. Yeah.
It's 2 and 25 with reach. It's 3 and 25. Maybe if I can get Dora in there, I'm good. No one's drawing anything they want. 6 makes me sad. It gets called. That's not good.
Jeez,
I got my 2, 3, 4 now, so I'm dropping these 9 because I have too many pairs, and these 9s aren't going to go anywhere. Also, I can avoid it. Well, they don't have Tenhou, so it doesn't matter. All right, that's Ami Shanten.
Yeah, I think Pez, you're right. I think player on the left here has a half flush,
2, 3, 4
value honor, and a Dora.
I could see that.
I reckon they're on manga.
And now a dealer reach. Everything, this hand has gone the worst it could possibly go for me. I'm in this terrible position where I'm close enough that I can conceivably think that I'll make it and push. And if I screw up and deal into the dealer reach, I could go straight to last. And I draw north, which is fine.
Pez wants to hear what is the plan, Dave?
What is
Do you know what? Yeah, let's take a moment here
Well,
and
let's
work out the
look at
plan.
what I got. In terms of safe tiles, I have nothing actually.
Well,
I
I
have
mean, you've got the
no
north.
safe tiles. Well, I just drew the north, but in terms of the tiles in my hand, nothing here is safe. Nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which means I'm going to end up looking at tiles I have more than one of. I got 3 Forsos, I got 2 5-pins, I got 2 8-mans. I kind of tend towards the 8-man. Actually, did that 5? No, this 5 did not come out after the reach, so I have no guidance on it. Obviously the north right now is my best split. The north is 100% safe unless they're
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm gonna say probably for the 2-pin because I can see 2 4s, I can see 2 5s, I can see 1 3. I don't want to throw the 8-mans because I've seen nothing in that area. Nothing. No one has thrown anything out in that area.
Yeah. Well, the 4-Sos are too close to the Dora. Like, I don't want to throw around what could be a doorway. And I can't throw any So tiles anyway because player left is obviously doing Sos. So tiles are out. We're not touching tiles.
Yeah. And especially like if you look at tiles are out, player on the left, they've just thrown a tile out. They're probably either one away or Tempai. Player on the right has thrown a 3 bamboo out. Now, if you really like Suji, that would suggest it could be risky because they could have had a 5-6 weight and they don't need the 3, so they throw it out.
But one thing has changed here.
Mm-hmm.
I thumped my microphone. The dealer has reached. So now they're down to 36k and I'm at 32k, 32.9. They're at 36.1. I'm at 32.9. If I win, I'm at 33.9, which means 2,300 points now wins the game for me. Which means my 2 and 40 from anyone will win. And on sumo,
you don't have 2.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I might not have 2, but
you've got 40 through, but you do not have 2.
I could end up with Reach Tenhou.
I think
I could. I'm not saying I will. I'm saying I could. But I should just be aware. I should just be aware that my conditions have changed, and I have some options.
I mean, so it's difficult because here I was not watching whether the tiles are coming out of their hand or just draw discard, because the 2 east discards are interesting, and I wish I knew whether they had come out of the hand, because if they came out of the hand, that suggests that they were they were pulling
East
in
was
and
out
they...
of the hand. First East out of the hand.
Okay, so that's actually
also out of the hand.
Right, there you go. So they've cut something out because it gives them an extra hand. We suggest that East here is, I don't know though, because they don't actually need, they just need to shut it down, right?
Yeah, they just need to win.
In this rule set, right, if they're at the top, the game ends, right?
I believe so. Oh, no, I think it's WRC. I think you keep going.
Oh, okay. So then that suggests they've got another hand in their hand.
Maybe.
So this is even more concerning, right? Like if it was just a small one, maybe you just want to lock in your second place. I don't know.
I think no matter what happens, the plan here is going to be throw north. I mean,
I
think obviously here we got to throw north and see.
I mean, so Pez says try to find a fold and accept any sumos however they go. I mean, I want to fold. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, Armel does use sliding Uma. So let's see. South still attacks with the 3-pin call, throws a 6.
Oh, is that how you call it? Sliding Uma, not floating Uma. In Japanese, it's floating Uma.
And that's it. 2-pin deals into the dealer.
Oh wow! Good thing I didn't put that.
And the dealer just has reach. And wait, what am I seeing here? It's something other than reach. Pinfu. There we go. Sorry, reach Pinfu. That's it.
No, I mean, I'm not disputing the English. If it makes sense, it makes sense. I'm absorbing it so that I can communicate better with the other humans.
So the dealer wins a quick reach Pinfu. And continues. Now they're at 40,000, so we're in Mongon territory if we care about winning.
Yeah, I mean that is the problem with going through Armel games, right? Is that we don't actually have the context here. We don't have the conditions that they might be playing.
The overall. Yeah, I should start gathering those so we can talk about it going in. That might be an interesting thing to add.
I think it's important that people are actually wanting to gain some strategy from our nonsense.
Well, especially with A-League games where, again, these players are good. They know what their win conditions are. They know where they are. Like these aren't people just jumping into the game and seeing what happens. So it's important to talk about it. Yeah, we can figure it out. We figure out a way to do things that works. And So now we're just in a rough spot.
I mean, yeah, but it's all games are public. Then like they're public, right?
Yeah, the games aren't private. It's not that big of a deal, I don't think. I mean, again.
Do you know what? I should hand over my. So Armour is the Australian Reaching Marketing Association, and they do a team league. And I had the worst game of my. I don't know. I wouldn't say entire life, but certainly it ranks up there. Maybe we should do that one next week. It was awful.
Oh no.
Yeah, remember I told you, Dave, I was so depressed.
Oh,
but I'm very bad. But that's why context is important. And I'm because Pez was there with me. I'm very bad at playing the bubble, and we were so close to getting into the cutoff. I can't play the bubble. I crumple every single time. It happened at 2017. I was so close to making the cutoff, and I just folded. I just can't handle it psychologically, which is why
it's a tough spot to be in. It's tough.
Which is why actually going over that game would be really useful for me, because I don't know. I don't know how to get over that hump. Like, it's really difficult for me. Yeah.
So what do we do here? What does this hand tell me? This hand tells me I'm not getting first place this game. That's what I'm reading out of. This is not a Mongon hand, I don't think. East is Fedora, which is not good for me.
So then, depending on your context, maybe you just have to aim for second, which means you shut it down.
Yeah.
You don't want to drain any further points.
My 4, 5, 6. I get 1, 2. All right. This at least stuff's happening here.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
South is gone. I could use that south. Maybe I should have held it. We got my Itsu potential.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes
call
my
it. If second is going to be good for you, then you can call it. At
this point, I'd probably call the Itsu, yeah. It's probably worth just pushing
If second works, yeah.
We got my pair of 5. All right, now me shut down on this Itsu.
Gemma said, please don't. When you do something, nobody like Gemma said, everyone was like, oh.
Throw the 6. Interesting. Yeah, I could see that.
They're committed.
Yeah, but they have this north now. They shifted around to the north being their safe hold tile, which I think is very smart. And now they have it, and they reach it. They reach the Itsu. So, reach Sumo Itsu is the Mongon hand they need.
Yeah, they have to reach it, right? Dama doesn't get them to first, so there'd be no point holding it. If you didn't reach this, you're folding. But you aren't folding, so you're reaching.
And reach Itsu with this hand is 3 and 40, which if they win it off the dealer also gets them into first.
Or they flip it around.
Yes, but I'm not even going to count that yet. Like that's stuff you can't depend on. So let's talk about the dependable things.
But you can't depend on sumo. You can't depend on sumo.
Whether to go to Goomba in order. Yeah, that is the question. Like if someone else steals it, what do you do? And that's
Goomba?
A rough one. Gamble.
Oh. Where did that come from? Where did that
That's the thing people say. I don't know. I know people.
Goomba.
I'd probably take the win because I just want to shut it down and be done.
It sounds like a new Mario character. That was my initial reaction.
An old Mario character.
Right. So, but does he gamble?
No, he's just called a Goomba.
Goomba stone.
Everyone fusses around.
I'm just old.
Fusses around. And we get down to the end of it, and it goes to Noten. And so we get 3,000 points and second place.
Right, but I'm going to say this. We don't know whether second place is a winning condition for this player.
Well, I mean, second place isn't bad. Where are our winning tiles? Our winning tiles are all in other people's
I didn't say I don't know Goomba Mixer Mode. I said I didn't know Goomba could be used as gambling.
Yeah, it's a whole.
That's what I don't know. Yeah. I know Goomba from Mario.
Because you don't know anyway.
I don't know the kid slang because I'm
so
old.
This is still a positive for second place, which gives you positive 9.9. Which again, if you have specific requirements you're trying to hit on the leaderboard, you're right. We might not hit it, but it's still a good outcome for you. It's a net positive outcome for you. And this is one of those times when what you should be telling yourself, and hopefully this player did, is you done good. You took this last hand and you got it to where it needed to be.
I feel very uncomfortable telling a seventh dan they done good.
I'm saying this is for you as a player yourself. You know, if a lot of people will be like, but I didn't win. But you know what? You really can't control a lot of the time whether you happen to win this hand or not. What you can control is that you knew what you needed to do. You built a hand that got you there, and you locked it in the right way. That's the stuff you can control that you did right. And you know what? Sometimes you'll win it and sometimes you won't. But the parts that you had to choose and you had to decide, you nailed. And I think that's the important thing to remember to give yourself credit for, even when you're sad because you didn't win and you really wanted to. I don't know. That's one. That's
No,
what I tell
I think
myself.
you're quite.
about not being
I
stupid.
know. I think you're more than right. I mean, you can't take a game in isolation and be like, oh, I should, unless you make mistakes. You have to, if you really want a view of your skill, you have to take a big step back and look and see what's going on in the big picture.
Yeah, and this ends up.
But I think everything here was good. I think everything here was good. Maybe I wouldn't have done all of the things that were done, but there's nothing.
No,
I mean,
again,
this is 7 down. This is 7 down. Of course, they weren't making mistakes.
There's no stressing out over how to say that they should never have done anything they did.
The mistakes at 7th down level probably come down to understanding the players they're playing against and the meta, right?
What's very interesting about this is how even the UMA is, actually. It's very close to precisely like plus 25, plus 9.9, minus 9.7, minus 25.2. It's very, very evenly divided, everyone. Yeah, so this is a really, really interesting game. Construction of the Ed Koch Greensboro Bridge. Oh, no. Super cool stuff going on
there. They were a tight player for sure.
Yeah, really tight game. Everyone had stuff they needed to do. I mean, we were only watching one person, but again, like that's really the practice of mahjong that I think if you want to improve, the structure of what you're trying to do is like step 1, what do I need to do? Step 2, how do I build my hand to get there? And I think that replacing your kind of more novice attitude of like step 1, how do I get to Tenpai? Step 2, did I win? Because when you're starting, how do I get to Tenpai? I just want to get this hand there, and then you kind of get to like step 1 being like, how big can I make this hand? Step 2, can I win? And now like the third level, when you start to really sink into the game further, is where does this hand actually need to be, and then how can I win? Those are your eras of mahjong thinking that you go through. Become an old person like myself, who is very old, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know.
Had a birthday.
Am very old. I am officially very old as of 4 days ago.
Yay! I'm right behind you, Dave. I'm right behind you.
Everyone's behind me because I'm old. Everyone is less old than me.
No, I'm only less old than you by weeks.
By like
weeks?
8 years at least.
No, I mean, I love you to say
I mean, I'm sorry, by 22, you're 18 and you're 18
That's
forever.
Right. Oh,
forever and ever. It never stops.
I would not want to be 18. You know what? I don't know. Maybe this is a life led well. I just wouldn't go. I would not go back. I would not go back.
What would I would go back to like 27.
No, I wouldn't. Do you know the only thing I would go back? I'd tell my 27-year-old self, you are beautiful and you're not too fat. That's the only thing. And I think maybe as I've gotten older, I've started to like, do you know what? You're going to look back and you're going to think, oh, actually, you weren't that ugly and fat. You're all right. So I'm trying to live that life now.
No, I was. I for sure was.
Hi, sick first. You were not, Dave.
No, I'm much better off now than I was then in terms of ugliness and fatness. Actually.
Yeah, do you know what?
Actually, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with having improved.
You know, I'll take that back. You're right. In my 20s, I was unfit, and if I had to run for the bus, I'd be just exhausted. Whereas now, what I would do,
I'd go back to like 20, 25, 26, and make all the improvements that I made at like 35.
Right.
That's what I do. I'd want the younger body, but the smarter me, and then I could just get ahead of the curve. It'd be great. Because you're right. Like I actually would not want to go back to like being 18. That sucked.
Oh,
I don't want to be 18 again, but I would appreciate my more youthful body that was just like better at stuff that I could then.
I thought the way you could just like eat McDonald's every day. It'd be fine. But no, yeah, you're right. Like, it's funny. I was in Taiwan, and I remember we were playing Ultimate Frisbee because I played Ultimate Frisbee. I'm sorry, everyone. I know, and I remember, and I was in a park playing, and we played for 10 minutes, and I was exhausted, and I remember thinking, I was 25, I was like, geez, I should not be this tired, but do you know what that's the life of sitting in front of your computer does? So if you're sitting in front of your computer, it actually doesn't take much to start embedding a little bit of exercise into your life, so you don't have to then, I definitely I remember I went to the gym, and like my wrists from just typing at my computer, like just destroyed. You can get it back though. It's not the end. And now I don't have the same pains. I can sit. I don't have back problems. So
I feel like I'm in much better shape than I was when I was younger because I've cared about it for a while because I've recognized that I'm about to crumble into dust. You know,
I'll give you the lady problems,
Oh
but
no, I don't want to know about that.
But yeah,
That's gross. It's not
or
appropriate
like
for Twitch. We're
when
gonna
I
get
was
banned.
when I was pregnant, and they were like, they might pregnancy is disgusting, but like
Gross.
they were like, oh, you have to be fit, and I was definitely fitter in between my 35 to 39 than I was when I was 25 to 29. Like flat out, I would not have been able to do childbirth and all of the requirements of being a pregnant person in my 20s. I just wouldn't have managed it. Whereas
I
Dave,
didn't have to do any of this then. What
Dave
an
came
idiot
and
I was.
visited me in
I
my
did.
final trimester, and I was walking and I was
Yeah.
doing all the things, and it
Up and
didn't.
at 'em.
Yeah,
We ate
but
ponies. It was great.
we did eat ponies.
Those were
Now
so
we're gonna
good.
get banned.
I need to go back and eat more of those ponies. Then.
Come visit and see my.
I really should.
I know. I need
Your
to come visit
room
you,
that
Dave.
you have.
Yeah, my room. My room with the woodworm, but I need to come visit New York.
You do need to come here.
I'm waiting for the grand opening of your space.
Oh yeah. So
you need to switch it to just chatting or mahjong. Just
no
chatting.
one's gonna get mad. No one has ever cared.
Do you know what? That's the thing. Because you're a man, no one ever cares.
It's
If
true.
I do it as a single female, some sort of Twitch police will come and tell me off.
have to inform you that you're too dumb to use Twitch, and so you. Anyway, so yeah, official on-stream only reveal is that my birthday this past week, I literally turned 40 years old. It happened. 4 followed by 0. That's how old I am. Don't tell anyone because it's a big secret. That's how friggin' old I am. And now I'm gonna die immediately if I don't buy a Ferrari. So I gotta go buy a Ferrari.
Wait, what? You have to do that at 40? Is
That's
this
what
your midlife
happens. You
crisis?
get 40, you realize that you might die eventually, and you buy a Ferrari, and that's
Right. But I feel we've already had our midlife crisis. We're old millennials, right? We're still millennials, right? We're not quite.
No, you know what my problem is? I gotta be really honest. Is after the past 10 years of the world being garbage, I've done this weird origami thing where the midlife crisis feels passé because fantasizing that you even can impact any of this is in and of itself totally fruitless.
That's kind of what I was about to say. Do you know, I feel like because we're the generation, right, that just didn't manage to grow up because lots of us didn't hit all those targets, right? Get married, have a kid, have a house, all of those targets that lots of us were supposed to hit. We couldn't hit because of financial crisis or just the world constantly imploding around us. So we didn't get to do that, but we did get to have our midlife crisis early.
No, it's just I'm thinking to myself okay, maybe I should go even the idea of it's very meta. The idea of having the fantasy that if only I bought a Ferrari, some 20-something girl is going to be like, "Wow, you're 40, but you're also really hot looking in that car and want to date me." Just is in this little dream bubble that gets instantly popped because fucking global warming and we're all shitting each other to death through capitalism. I can't even maintain this illusion to have a midlife crisis because the world is such garbage. This is terrible. I'm being deprived of what I'm owed by our society. So I also went to Japan.
We went to Japan. Me and Dave had whatever this joint midlife crisis is in Japan together. And I'm really glad.
What we had in Japan. So I don't know how you can stop me.
Say that Dave was struggling to come to Japan because he has a lot of work. He's a busy man.
I'm very busy.
And we had all these meetings lined up. And I was just he's like, oh, I don't think I'll come. And I was saying this oh, it's okay, And internally I was screaming shit. And Dave came in. He fucking knocked am I using the right metaphors here? He knocked the meetings out of the park, like baseball, right?
Yes, knock it out of the park is good. You were there too, though. You also helped in those meetings. We had
No. I mean, I had the thing is about Dave is he's very good at talking.
I never stop.
You can stick him on a stage and everything he'll say, it sounds, do you know what, because I think I only rely on my accent. The only thing I've got going for me is my accent.
That's a lot, though. The accent carries a lot of weight. You could teach a class here in anything.
Right, but that only swings for Americans. If I'm in front of anyone else, they're fucking British people. Do you remember Brexit? Oh, God, those people are awful.
Oh, no.
But Americans still are oh, no, don't break your arm.
Yeah,
but Americans are still sort of, I don't know, I feel like Prince Harry is really... tanking our stock now, though. But yeah. Anyway, he did really well at the meetings, and it was great.
We both did well. I'm not going to take sole credit for the meeting. So there was a whole bunch of different things. There was a whole family thing, which is I still find very humorous.
Oh, so Dave is basically part of my family.
Yeah, I'm in all these family photos, and you're Poor
It's true.
Kaz is gonna be like, who's that guy? Why is there a fat white man in all my family photos?
So it was my first trip back to Japan post-COVID. So I went to Japan February 2020, just before lockdown happened. Like, we were joking about the Diamond Princess and Yokohama. Like, yeah, we were joking as if that wasn't going to happen to us, and hey ho. Anyway, and that was our first time back 3 years later. So, obviously I'd had a kid, and we hadn't seen, like, some of these people have been sick, had cancer, blah, blah, blah. So we basically did this, like, family whirlwind event. And Dave came along from us.
You were just like, oh, we're going to Enoshi. You want to come to Enoshi? I'm like, all right, I'll hang out. I'm cool to hang out. I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen your parents in a while. It's great. And then all of a sudden, I'm getting listening to lengthy stories about how bank branches used to be in one place, but now are in another different place, and how arduous it was to have to change one's listed address with the bank. And
I did caveat these were family meetups, and you should know what happens at family meetups. You've got family. I'm pretty sure if I go to meet your family, I'll have a similar conversation.
This is why you'll never meet my family.
Damn it, I really want to. Do you know what? Like, I need to. Like, my parents were like, they were like, oh, everyone needs to have kids because they need to have a legacy. And I'm like, Mom, no one needs to have kids. But they were obsessed with this the entire 10 days we were there. I'm like, why? What is wrong with you people?
I would only have kids if I could have them in that very Downton Abbey way, where someone else manages them the whole time. And I just get to have the result of, yeah, I guess you will inherit my fortune, Timmy.
It's just such, and that's the problem is when you have these family outings, you start to see these terribly outdated views, even from your own parents. You're like, really? And it started to make me wish I hadn't had a kid just so I could spite them.
Oh no! Oh no!
I love my kid; he's lovely, but I didn't have a kid to have a legacy. I'm telling you right now.
Well, now you have a legacy whether you want one or not. So. A lot of stuff happened here. So yeah, we did these meetings. I'm now in all these photos. We did these meetings with a bunch. I don't know if we can talk about the specific to the meetings or not. We might not be able to talk about them yet, but it's a lot of just prep, ground laying.
Yeah, for 2025. Yeah, I mean, and 25. It's gonna be good. I swear. I don't know. It's gonna be really, really, really good.
I'm pretty psyched for it.
I mean, it's a really different feel. I think because of course 2014 I wasn't really so involved. People see me now as the face of WRC. However, in 2014, it was really Martin Rep and the TNT group. And they were really driving this whole kind of thing. And then we had a meeting, and then, we kind of said, well, this is a good event. We should do it again. And Moriyama was like, hey, Gemma can manage it. And then he pointed at Dave, and Dave can hold it in Vegas.
Yeah, that's basically how that happened. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah, and so both of us were just like, okay, yeah. Anyway, so then 2017 happened. And of course, it was a me and Dave production. So, I was quite, close. And then for 2020, as it should have been, Lena wanted to hold it. And so I was quite closely involved with that. 2025 is going to be less Gemma. There is going to be a good 50 to 75% less Gemma. And I think that's a good thing.
I think it's good to have some other hands on it, to have some other takes on it, to see some things like that.
A different direction, right? Because the problem is if you let one human or one group of humans do what they know works over and over again. Right. Well, I mean, there's that aspect, but there's also it becomes ossifies, right? Ossifies.
Ooh, ossify. That's a good word.
You like that word? Okay.
I like that word.
Yeah. I just think that injecting things that because the Japanese were sat there for they've suffered me for 10 years now, going, oh God, I wish John would do it this way. Oh, I don't want to do it that way. And now they can sort of steer a little bit, and
we'll learn from that too. The things that they do. Some of them will work great. I'm sure some of them will be not so awesome, as always happens in any event. And
I think most of them. I mean, but they've got a lot of experience of running events, generally. So
the majority of it will be good.
I think it's going to be a great learning experience for me because the 10-year sort of anniversary of WRC is next year, and I think to have it in Tokyo 2025 and sort of I'm hoping that what they'll do is they'll take it and they'll just kind of redirect it to something better. I have absolute confidence. We sat in those meetings, and I think that's what they're doing.
So we did all those meetings. I met up with a bunch of other people. I talked a lot about Sparrow's Nest Studio and what we're doing with that, which is really, I really appreciate being allowed to do that in those meetings, frankly. Those weren't my meetings. So being allowed to doing with the space when we're opening it and stuff like that was really exciting.
It's exciting.
I'm pretty hyped. So we're looking at, just so everyone on the stream knows, we're looking at having a more full launch in September. So we're going to be doing a lot over the summer to get ready, to make it beautiful, to line up a full panel of events and stuff like that, which is really cool. I got to spend a good chunk of time in the dojo playing mahjong, where I humiliated myself constantly by not being very good at mahjong. And yeah, Moriyama kept showing up. The problem with him showing up, here's the thing. It's like, if I'm sitting at a table playing mahjong, it's like, here's 4 people playing mahjong, right? But as soon as he sits down at the table playing mahjong, it's Moriyama is playing mahjong, and also, like, subtitled, also Dave was there. And I don't mean that people don't pay attention. It's not like a personal ego thing. It's just like all the gravity of the game just gets sucked into this man.
Yeah, he's the headliner.
Yeah, and I'm just like, all flow is gone. The table is just tipped in this direction. All flow is this way.
It is, right? Exactly. Like, it is. It's the ratings charisma just tips it.
Yeah, and it's like, and I didn't feel like I was playing poorly. I wasn't dealing in. I wasn't even screwing up. There was just not enough flow for me to ever get anywhere. It was just all the other direction. I'm like, well.
But, do you know, I found that with, like, say, if anyone played a Kojima Sensei at 2014, it was the same. Mr. Mahjong, like, he'd sit at the table and then somehow he just suck all of the flow. I mean, Mr. Moriyama has that. I mean, you would, like, if you go online, if you look, people will say things on Japanese Twitter about Mr. Moriyama, and I can guarantee you none of those people have met him. Because that man loves mahjong with this fiery passion, like, that you can't, and he would do anything for it. He's put himself out there, and he has made, he's made sacrifices for WRC. He's made sacrifices for the international community that I don't think Mr. Mahjong did as well, to be fair, but I think a few others would. But if you sit and actually play with him, no matter what you've heard, like, you can't help but admire.
Oh, I am. When I say this, I am saying it out of pure admiration. To be super.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not. Yeah, but because I know that people. Exactly. I think the problem is sometimes we translate some of the. There's a lot of politics over in Japan, right? We translate that over into English without really understanding what's what's actually being said. We don't get the context. We don't sometimes understand the sub context of what's going on. And people like a drama, but that man loves it's more than anything else.
God, I just and yeah, I was just sitting there for the whole game, just being like, well, I guess I'll get almost to 10 pi and then have to bail over and over and over again. I guess that's my fate here, to just be no 10 forever and look like an idiot who can't even make a hand.
But then that's surely what we need to achieve, right? To have that
you're trying to train everyone to fold everything. You're trying to push it.
No, but to have that sort of charisma at the table, like that's the meta, right?
Well, I'm sure this has happened to all. I've been the scary one at the table in some games. When you can tell it's all going your way, and everyone else is just looking at you, being like, I hope he doesn't do that again. And you're like, you're nailing it. And like, I wish that happened when I was in Japan.
Right. Yeah.
Not at all.
But then maybe that's why it's a little bit tougher. Not so much in America, because mostly Americans play for Americans, but in Europe, right, it's a little bit tougher because you're playing with people who are not of your culture generally. If you're at an EMA event, right? And it can be sometimes a little bit more difficult to sort of command that presence.
It's tricky. And
especially if it's not your language, right? Geez, I'm constantly impressed that people play in English.
Pardon me.
But to be fair, Germans and Dutch speak English better than we do. I'm Danish. You know what? I've got a list of countries that speak English better than we do.
Everyone, not me. Germans do too. Yeah, I remember talking to someone and they were like, I want to go to Germany. They're like, I want to go to Germany and see a castle. And I'm like, well, go to Germany then. Go to Germany. But Germans don't speak English. I'm like, they all speak
and they speak English better than you fucker.
That will not be your problem in Germany. Like, your problem in Germany will not.
I remember when I was working at Nintendo, right? So I was the native English speaker, obviously, and I'd be producing this English text, and I would go down to the French, the Italian, German, Spanish teams to translate. And I kid you not, within like 30 minutes of me sending it down, the German would come over and be like, I think you made a grammar mistake. I'm like, oh, couldn't be. I look at it and I'm just, you're right, Germans.
I always liked it. There was like, oh, I'm sorry, my English isn't actually that good. I'm like, fuck you. Your English is fucking textbook perfect. God damn it.
I know, right? That was super like, I'm obviously not a native speaker, so I'm unsure if I'm correct. You're always correct. You're always bloody correct.
It's so true. I love them. There's no negative feelings here.
No.
I do love them.
It just proves that English is definitely the domain of the second language speakers now, because the natives can't speak it for shit anymore.
So what else? Anything? Any other exciting things happen in Japan?
That's a good point.
To make Gemma's life easier, I stayed near Kabukicho and my hotel caught fire. That was not very fun. I also got offered a lot of exciting things in Kabukicho that I was not interested, but that are apparently legal. So, whoop-de-doo.
Oh, do you know what's really exciting? Japan finally made the age of consent 16 across the board. So I no longer have to have arguments with fucking idiots who seem to think the sex of a minor was legal, because it never was.
It shouldn't be, right?
It was just a difference between like federal and state law. Do you see what I mean? So the federal law had it sat at 13 for historic reasons, but every single prefecture in Japan had set it.
Like, no one bothered changing
basically
the broad
16,
one, but every locality was like, no,
right,
not
exactly,
at all.
exactly. It was, yes, exactly.
Okay.
So now I no longer have to have dumbass arguments with people on Twitter.
I'm also gonna not in any way ever. Yeah, let's not do any of those things, please. No one.
Yeah, exactly. Slavery is legal. Exactly.
Engage with
minors.
It's not good. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but so I don't have to have that argument of humans anymore, which is great. But apart from mahjong, Orichinomi is having that open at the moment, right now, as I understand it. So I don't know. Are they Twitch?
I believe there's some kind of broadcast. I don't know offhand. So you
can check it out. If someone knows, they can put it in the chat. Also, Jen and Garth have released their new mahjong show, which involves professionals from JPML discussing hands from the Proust.
Yeah, it's
I want to say Proust for German, but Proust.
No, I talked to Jen. She said Proust.
But it.
Proust.
Okay.
Yeah, and Jen's super helping.
Yeah. So, but they've got Yamai for the first few episodes, and they've got some. I'm not going to tell you who they've got lined up, but they've got other people lined up. They've got super really top pros. So you should go and like Jen's channel. It's on Jen's channel, so like and subscribe or whatever you have to do.
Subscribe to Jen's channel.
They're really nice. They're like little 10 minutes as well, so it's not.
Oh, that's really digestible. I really like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of the stuff that people are producing for mahjong, I think, tends to run to hours. And Chiral allows you time to push whatever you. Because Chiral, if you didn't know, is also like a great. Oh God, I've forgotten the English word. I said the commentator.
Oh, I'm like person.
Yeah, no, a commentator.
Do believe
for mahjong as well. So if he's streaming, you should definitely catch their stream as well.
Sure.
But yes, just I don't know. YouTube. I don't have any of the links because I'm not a very good streamer.
So I actually have to become a better streamer in the next few weeks, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be changing our schedule.
Thanks, Pez.
We're going to be changing our schedule for our meetups to be always on Saturday, I think, because people got a little confused with the bouncing Saturday, Sunday thing. But that means I'm going to start hosting this from Sparrow's Nest Studio if possible. So my goal in the next week or two is going to be to move our streaming setup over there, so I can be live from the studio now. I'm
going to miss your bed. Are we going to get guests? Can I speak to people from your club?
We could start getting. It'll be a lot easier to do something like that with a proper studio setup. Yeah, for sure.
Dave's got a lot of cool friends as well.
That's a lie, but I do know cool people who
really?
I can sometimes convince to hang out with me.
Anyway, so maybe.
Friends. I'm old now. Old people don't have friends.
Yeah, Dave might have to set up an actual, proper.
Yeah, we can bring
setup.
Games to review. We can do a whole bunch of things. So this is going to be something that I'm trying to work on. Thank you, Pez. I have one friend at least. So this is something I'm going to be working on moving over the next 2 weeks, because for the next meetup, I want to get this done by the next meetup. So it's going to be over the next 2 weeks. So maybe next week we'll still be here, but we're going to hope to revitalize the stream a little bit, get it on studio, and start hosting more stuff out of Sparrow's Nest, because we rent it and it's pretty cool.
And I might get carpet and not echo anymore.
Oh yeah, I might have to figure out what to do about that. We have a carpet actually, so we might be able to do something. It's not that echoey. Oh, you might get carpet. I'm sorry. I'm being so selfish.
My room is just a bare box right now, so it is gonna echo, unfortunately. I just put some furniture in here, it won't be so bad.
But I do have a hard cut, because I do have to go over and host our meetup today.
Gotta go.
So thank you all for joining us. We will be back next week.
Thank you for getting us, despite the fact we abandoned you whilst we were in Japan.
And hopefully, as we go, next time in Japan, maybe I can do some streams from Japan. I don't know. I never want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy wandering around friggin' Tokyo with my phone out being like, hey, everyone, it's Dave. I'm here in Tokyo. And everyone's mad at me because I'm wandering around on the sidewalk Twitch streaming like I have clout.
Wait, Cheryl, but you just only doing Mahjong Sol? I'll be a guest if you're not doing Mahjong Sol. If it's a Tenhou, I'll do
She
one.
means it.
Yeah, I'll be a guest.
I'll be a guest too, actually. I don't mind as long as I can't put my face up next to
I can't deal with Mahjong Sol.
But for anything else, I'm always really happy to.
I just spend the time being like, you don't want that. No one wants that. No one wants old lady Gemma.
But they want old man Dave. Apparently, old man Dave is still pretty good.
Well, let me know, Cheryl, if you change it to something else.
Yeah, we can figure something out. We can do something with this thing. That'd be really cool.
Okay.
Anyway,
Dave, go do
thank you
thing.
all. I'm gonna go do the thing. See you all next week. Thank you for joining us, and have a great weekend. Have a great long weekend. Have fun, everyone. And bye for now.
Bye bye. Thank you for watching. I'm forgiven. You still got the old logo there, mate.
Yeah, I gotta update the logo.
You do.